So why isn't there a place on the instructions to closing attorney, GAR F 255, for the buyer to sign if the buyer is paying the buyer broker's compensation? Good question. Hi, everybody. Dana Sparks, broker of Maximum One Greater Atlanta Realtors and director of the Real Estate Academy of America. And today's quick tip has to do with the Georgia Association of Realtors instructions to closing attorney. And the question that I got is, why isn't there a place for the buyer to sign if the buyer is paying the compensation directly to their own broker? Well, this is October of 2024, and this form may change in 2025. Stay tuned. GAR is making a lot of contract changes for next year, but for the remainder of this year. The answer is because when you work with a buyer, before you have ever even shown them house number one, you have already had the buyer sign an agreement that discloses the compensation or the commission that you earn from working with them to help them buy a house. The compensation that the buyer owes you as you negotiated with them for the buy side of any transaction. So that agreement is already signed. The buyer has agreed to pay you a certain amount of money for helping them buy a house. Now, here in Georgia, there are many times when that buyer's financial obligation to you for the buy side of a deal is offset by compensation coming from the seller side, whether it be from the seller directly or from the seller's broker in a co-op situation. Therefore, in the GAR instructions to closing attorney, it has all the places how much each broker is getting paid and by whom. And there is a place for the seller's signature. That is only for the seller to sign if the seller is compensating the buyer's broker directly. The other signatures are for both brokers to sign if it is a co-op deal. So if the seller is paying their own broker and the buyer is paying their own broker, those forms have already been signed. Those have been agreed to in either on the seller side, the seller brokerage agreement, or the authorization to show unlisted property. And on the buy side, on the buyer brokerage agreement or agreement to work with broker as a customer. So it's already been signed if the public person is paying their own broker. You only need the seller's signature on the instructions to closing attorney or on any of the forms if they are paying the buyer's broker directly, because they do not have a pre-existing signed agreement where compensation has been negotiated. They only have a signed agreement with their own broker. So please watch the other videos that I've done on the variety of compensation forms in the Georgia Association of Realtors contract package and which form to use in what situation. I will end by saying I strongly suggest that regardless of who is paying which broker's commission or compensation, that you use the instructions to closing attorney as a summary to make sure that everybody is on the same page and to make sure that the closing attorney gets it correct on the closing settlement statement and that your broker has a clear record. Thank you so much for watching. Dana Sparks, broker of Maximum One Greater Atlanta Realtors, satisfying your needs with service, innovation, and education. Bye. If you like that video, check out the one here. If you like the content on this entire channel, please click here to subscribe. I try to take even the most complicated of real estate situations and make them crystal clear. See what I did there? Real estate made crystal clear. Thank you guys so much for watching.